Back at 6:43, so it's a good weekend to check out some local art and for an important reason. So Bill's off this morning, but before he left, he talked to Crosscut's arts and culture reporter about all the native art in the Seattle area and why people might want to add checking it out to their Thanksgiving plans. Listen to this.
So it is Thanksgiving, and we tend to talk about what people are cooking, what they're thinking about buying on Black Friday. What we don't talk about as often is the history behind the holiday and how white settlers took this land from the people who originally lived on it, and how non-Indigenous people can now learn from the tribes that are still very much here. Crosscut's arts and culture reporter Margo Vansynghel knew that this was important and racked up a list of art that we can check out this Thanksgiving by Indigenous artists. This is great. Margo, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, a lot of this is right here in our own backyard. So what did you discover?
That's right. There's so much art. And actually, I want to make a note that this is not a new thing, right? For us, we've done for a couple of years now this spotlight on local native arts around Thanksgiving. And this came about a couple of years ago when we noticed how many art shows there were, how many art markets, and we wanted to spotlight it. And just what I've learned is just how many artists there are locally who are making incredible work, and that this time of year is just a perfect time to remind people of that.
And talk a little bit about some of the work that you particularly appreciate.
Yeah, so there's a show at the Museum of Northwest Art in La Conner, and there's an exhibit by Dan Friday, and it's really, really excellent. And he works primarily in glass, but takes inspiration from the materials and the art techniques from his ancestors, including weaving, but he uses glass. And he says that glass is a medium that will survive millennia, so that generations from now will still be talking about it, still be seeing this work. And he makes these salmons, these other forms, and it's just stunning. I would note that museum is closed on Thanksgiving Day, but otherwise should be open and really recommended. A couple of other things I would like to point people to is some street art. So you can kind of go see that anytime. And one kind of new one is a mural by a Seattle artist called Romel Beleza. And it's in Little Brook in Lake City, and it's literally street art in the sense that it's on the street, and it's pretty big. It represents a Tlingit ocean monster, who is surrounded by these Chilkat blankets, and so there's red and blue and green, and it's really beautiful. And yeah, can I keep going?
Please, this is great.
And then if you go to a Kraken game or concert at the Climate Pledge Arena, there's a couple of artworks there. One is called La Dia Pish. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's by a pretty famous Northwest glass artist called Preston Singletary, who works with the sculptor David Franklin. And this represents the Pacific giant octopus, and so there's 8 arms, and it's made of laminated red glass and stainless steel. And I know we don't get a ton of sunny days around here, but when there's sun, the red glass, like it really reflects it really beautifully. And then when you get inside, there's a mural by a local artist called Jeffrey Vareje. And it's kind of a timeline of the Pacific Northwest and like these strata. But his style is really special. He calls it Salish Geek, and it's kind of graphic, kind of cartoony, retro futurist, and it has these Coast-Salish design elements that he combines it with, which is really, really great. I have a couple of virtual events for folks who maybe want to stay inside. One is actually 2 online art shows by a local group, a local Indigenous collective called Yeehaw Indigenous Creatives Collective. And these art shows are basically, you can scroll from your couch and see these films and collages and beadwork and digital artwork. And I would really recommend, for me personally, there were a lot of artists that I hadn't heard about yet. And so this was a really lovely acquaintance with a lot of these artists.
Crosscut's arts and culture reporter Margo Vansynghel, thank you so much for your work, and thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.